Who will become the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives? Who will become the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives? Who do you think is the forerunner? What are your reasons and perspective? Possible choices: House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise, RLA. Or possibly a caretaker speaker for Scalise while he undergoes cancer treatment. House Majority Whip, Tom Elmer, RMN. Elise M. Stefanik, Republican Conference Center. Gary J. Palmer, Republican Policy Committee Chair. House Financial Services Chair, Patrick McHenry, RNC, the current pro tem chair. Republican Study Committee Chair, Kevin Hern, ROK. House Budget Chair, Jody Arrington, R. Texas. House Rules Chair, Tom Cole, ROK. Jim Jordan. Others? And who would actually want to be the Speaker and who would be willing to accept being a candidate? Thank you for your comments, feedback, and perspective. I don't see how the House GOP avoids falling into recriminations and utter chaos. Unless they vote Trump in. McHenry probably ends up acting Speaker for longer than McCarthy was Speaker. Well, I don't know about everyone else. But personally, I'm hoping for a surprise Hunter Biden nomination. The real question is, will the next Speaker outlast the 45-day continuing resolution? If we've learned anything over the last 30 years, it's that Republicans can't choose a good House Speaker to save their lives. Seriously. They always either end up with infighting or some scandal. Every time. Not a single one with a peaceful run since 1994. I think we can expect much more of that with whomever they end up with next. Especially since, based on the candidates, they're all much worse than McCarthy was. I don't believe Trump will be nominated for Speaker. Nobody actually wants him to be Speaker. And they are nominating with a secret vote, so there's no public show of fealty being made. They'll agree on someone we probably don't know that well that isn't much unlike McCarthy. But I've no idea the Gates faction will allow a Speaker to be confirmed anytime soon. Sometimes I think those folks want the Gov to shut down and want to see Ukraine fail above all else. We're seeing historic firsts in the House this year. So I'll suggest another first. It's highly unlikely, but not impossible, that the GOP selects someone not currently a sitting member of the House. It would provide current presidential candidates a path to save face while bowing out of the primaries and remaining politically relevant. Vivek Ramaswamy in particular is a diehard Trump supporter and could possibly get his endorsement for the speakership. The optimist in me keeps thinking Hakeem Jeffries will find a few moderate Republicans who are near the end of their career and wants us to have a functioning government to cross the line and vote for him. I should probably seek therapy just for thinking this is possible. There's really no logical way to answer this, because the people who have to choose are irrational. It could be Steve Scalise. Or it could be Mike Lindell. Personally, I see this temporary Speaker lasting a lot longer than anyone is comfortable with. Personally, I'd like to see Commander Biden have a go. I love his stance on law enforcement. It doesn't actually matter. The majority is so thin. Whoever gets put in the speakership will be in the same situation. Rabble-rousers causing problems. Moderates too scared to act. And a Democrat-controlled Senate and no one really knows. We're in uncharted territory. I think there's a real possibility that no speaker is chosen, and the U.S. enters an extended shutdown by default. There is also the possibility that someone not in Congress currently is chosen. They are in the works to nominate Trump to the position. What's clear is that the Republicans Party is going through a realignment. Any last shred of hope of politics returning to normal has pretty much gone out the window. The Republican don't have many options. They need a person in a safe red seat with guarantees to not support anyone else in the upcoming primaries. The next speaker is going to have to work with Democrats at least a little bit to get a budget passed. And they need to leave the FC in the dust when they do it. But I am not sure those guarantees are worth anything anyway. I think there is a real chance the next speaker is elected in January 25th and we have a massive crisis. Until then, I am terrified Trump will be axed and will accept, because of the proximity to the presidency. Some absolute loser of a person will be the next speaker. How any of these people live with the shame I'll never understand. I guess money makes you forget about being a human. Moderates are unelectable. This will take dozens of votes to find someone dumb enough to take a job that requires being powerful enough to bring the Freedom Caucus in line like Nancy Pelosi did with the Squad. There probably won't be one anytime soon. The GOP wants to sow chaos and stifle getting any of the people's business done, so they will likely try to blow through the 45-day CR and then shut the government down as long as possible in the run-up to the 2024 election. This will give their boss something else to bitch about and will fuck the lives of millions of Americans who are either too dumb or ill-informed to recognize who caused the problems in the first place. I know he said he wouldn't, but I think it might be McCarthy again. The caucus will struggle to find a replacement and reach the ledge, and he'll use the opportunity to put himself forward again as the compromise candidate and hopefully cow Gates and his colleagues, consolidating power behind his speakership. Sure, this is all pure speculation, but I'll bite Jim Jordan. Why not? Republicans are both comfortable with House speakers from Ohio and people involved in some sort of child molestation scandal. In all seriousness, who knows? My guess is as good as any. As Sen Fetterman said, one dick is the same as another dick in the GOP House. I don't see anyone become an actual speaker. MAGA nuts won't vote for a regular Republican, and a regular Republican won't vote for a MAGA lunatic. Obviously there must be one. But seriously, after the fiasco it took to get the least qualified person voted in, how many rounds will it take to elect in a three-way DV House? With enough Republican defections, we could wind up with Jeffries as Speaker. Won't happen, but if Representative Patrick T. McHenry shows he is a good leader and bring the Republicans together while he is pro tempore, they may vote to keep him there if he wants the job. Steve Scalise so far is the one that has said he wanted to be Speaker. He is liked by all the Republicans and could become the next Speaker. Let's hope it's not Steve Scalise, who once called himself David Duke, without the baggage. The next speaker will be a Democrat after the new Congress is sworn in 2025. So I guess Nancy Pelosi for some reason. Trump. And he will do nothing but hold fake impeachment hearings until he can shut down the entire government in November. Or no one is chosen for weeks until the government shuts down in November. Either way, I'm not hopeful my country will be functional for the foreseeable future. McCarthy will be re-elected eventually. He will either make a deal with the Freedom Caucus or enter into a power-sharing agreement with Jeffries. The only way that doesn't happen is if he decides he's not interested. Trump is likely going to get in. And for all saying he'd have to work. Will he? He has a legion of sycophants who do his work. And his primary goal anyway will be to just keep the government shut down and likely trying to work with his said sycophants to get him up the line of succession before next November, since he'd be too accidents away from taking power for good.